Alright, so I was told to grade a mock draft and see if their picks were right and doing the top job. And so I'm doing the CBS draft and I'm grading on how they did and what I think they should actually pick and what positions they actually need. So starting off with the first overall pick in the NFL draft will be from the Arizona Cardinals, Josh Allen. They have him as picked. He's 6'5", lightning speed, but I still think Nick Bosa is going to get picked first overall. Yes, he missed most of the season because of injury, which he could have played again, but in this coming draft, I don't think he wanted to get injured and drop down in picks and have a horrible season the rest of his time. But I do agree with Nick Bosa getting picked first overall, not from the San Francisco 49ers. Maybe if he drops and teams find out about him, I feel like the San Francisco 49ers will pick him up or some edge. I do believe Josh Allen's top 5 pick, but not first overall. Yes, moving on to 49ers. I do think Nick Bosa will be picked first overall. Maybe Josh, uh, yeah, will get picked second. So, because Josh Allen does fit that speed that they really could use. Third, they have Quinnen Williams at defensive tackle. He's big, but I don't think New York needs him. I feel like they want to go with a receiver, maybe to bring in some hype to their team because they do have a good quarterback. He didn't have a great team to bond with them, and their defense, I feel like, wasn't as bad. I feel like they had a great team this last year, especially with their corners and safeties, and some of them in the Pro Bowl. They have the Raiders drafting Montez Sweat, an edge rusher, which a lot of people were saying that Montez Sweat was going to be picked by the Raiders, and I'm kind of leaning more towards it now. They're going to use him as a replacement for Khalil Mack, but he's definitely not a Khalil Mack. I don't know why they got rid of him, but I feel like either if they don't pick him, they're going to go drop and pick and get more first-round picks or something like that. Or a lot of people are saying we're going to pick up Kyle Murray or some type of quarterback because apparently reports are saying that Carr they want to do like an Alex Smith and Patrick Mahomes kind of deal where he trains him for a year and then he's out of there, he's kicked. So I do believe that's a good pick and something that they'd be going for. I hope it is. I don't want a quarterback. I'm okay with a Carr. Tampa Bay, they got Ed Oliver, defensive tackle. Yeah, Tampa Bay got Vita Vea the first round last year, and he dealt with lots of injuries and just didn't live up to the full potential of everyone. He did come back later in the year, but nothing like what they needed. I feel like maybe Tampa Bay should go more offensive, but Ed Oliver's a perfect fit. I definitely think if Vita Vea and him, he definitely fill in for all the gaps missed out on there. New York Giants drafting Dwayne Haskins. That's a perfect pick. Definitely agree with that. And Dwayne Haskins is just a perfect essential, especially if they keep Eli Manning and just have him coach him up because I feel like Eli Manning's definitely ready to get out of there. His career is definitely near ending, and Dwayne Haskins would love to learn a lot from him, and I feel like they should hold on to Eli Manning just for that vet luck. Jacksonville Jaguars get Drew Lock. I do believe Drew Lock's a great quarterback. I just don't think he's the second quarterback that's going to get picked. Seeing him in the season or the Senior Bowl, he really picked up. I just don't think that's where Jacksonville is looking to land. But either they go in free agency, go to quarterback and Drew Lock. I feel good with that, but I just don't see him being just a set. If they do keep Blake Bortles, I don't think that will work out because I feel like Blake Bortles has nothing to offer that Drew Lock needs. They're two different guys, two different styles. Greedy Williams picked by Detroit Lions. I really don't think Lions really need a cornerback. They got Darius Slay, but it's not much depth after that. And I do agree, Greedy Williams is a great cornerback, great name too. But I feel like Lions can go better, get another Megatron or something like that, something much better. I feel like their offense was great this season. Just blanking on his name right now. Matthew Stafford definitely didn't have as much targets, especially with Eric Ebron out of there doing so much better with the Colts somehow. I really think he could use a lot more targets. Washington Redskins via trade with Buffalo. They said they're going to trade, and Buffalo is going to pick up or let's see what's going on here. They have Washington Redskins, picking up Kyler Murray, and I do agree with that. You know, the injury with Alex Smith might affect this season. Maybe Alex Smith is going to do the same thing as he did for the Chiefs and just coach up Kyler Murray like he did with Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, either that or Broncos are going to try to pick him up. I know they're looking for a set quarterback. Many teams are looking for that kind of set. They're all falling with like a bunch of free agent quarterbacks that they can't hold on to a whole season. I agree with that. I feel like Washington Redskins could benefit so much from that. Or maybe a good corner, because, you know, Josh, forgot his last name. Norman is not what he used to be, definitely. Denver Broncos, they got picking Jonah Williams and offensive tackle. If they don't go with the quarterback, which they really need, there's not many quarterbacks left. And I do agree with Jonah Williams. He's really great offensive tackle, but it'll just provide protection for those backup they're definitely not starter quarterbacks that John Elway has. If they really prove what they got going on, then yes. And they do have good running backs. They got both Royce Freeman and Philip Lindsay, and Philip Lindsay is definitely going to start, and Royce Freeman is a great backup to have. But yeah, if they don't get a quarterback, Jonah Williams is definitely going to be set there. They have Bengals picking Devin White. I think that's a great pick, actually. I was thinking offensive style, but they don't really need any offense style. They have that Vontaze Burfict, but he's just not the same. Trying to injure every player, and they really don't need Vontaze Burfict anymore. And plus, he seems like he's just ready to leave. And Devin White's such a great replacement. He should be top 10, but with all the great players already being picked, he's just got to land here. And no other team really needs a linebacker like him, and he's just a style that fits what the Bengals are looking for. So I think that's a perfect fit. And move him around in position. Okay, so I've seen this player play. I still don't know how to pronounce his name. I'm going to try it. Jachai Polite, I think. I'm so bad at this. I've seen him play, and he's super fast at getting to the quarterback. Like, he's just a snap, though. I just never know how to pronounce his name so well, but I do see Green Bay Packers looking into that. I mean, maybe more of a replacement for middle linebacker, because Clay Matthews isn't doing great. His, dealing with all the fake bad calls on him and him being up in age, I think they'd want a replacement or something like that. I mean, look at Lee Smith being taken out by Van Der Esch. I think that'd be something they're looking to do. I'm not sure on that pick. And I mean, he's speedy, but I don't see Green Bay looking so much for him. Miami, they got Clyde Farrell being picked, the edge rusher from Clemson to Miami, which I do think they need. A lot of people say they're looking for a quarterback, actually, but I think Ryan Tannehill just needs some more time from missing a whole season from an injury. And then going with Jay Cutler, which was horrible. I feel like they really hated Jay Cutler, and I feel like if they give Ryan Tannehill more time, just like Andrew Luck had, he'll just shoot right back into place. But if they can't with Ryan Tannehill, then do a quarterback the year after that. I do agree with this pick. With Cameron Wake being on his own and I feel like Clinton Farrell is definitely a good replacement. Number 14, Jeffrey Simmons, defensive tackle from Mississippi State. I do agree with that. That's a great pick. I mean, their defense hasn't been what it used to, and their offense has been insane, just not what they're looking for. So on defense, so he should be higher, I feel like, in the draft. But Atlanta Falcons are getting a steal out of him with all these other defensive tackles being picked up. This is a big year for all these line being picked up after so many years of not missing out on it. You got aged guys and free agents and all these. Buffalo Bills, with their trade from Washington Redskins earlier, they're going to go with Jawan Taylor. I feel like they definitely need that. Josh Allen's such a great quarterback, and if you give him just that much more time with that great line, hopefully he's going to look like Quentin Nelson. Maybe they'll look like the Colts this year. I feel like they can do so much better. They had a lot of potential this year. Just move around and get some good free agency going. I feel like they have a shot at playoffs. Carolina Panthers, Dalton Reisner. I agree with that completely. The Panthers line just horrible this year. Cam Newton, I mean, there's some plays where he just forced the rush, and I don't think linemen are looking for that, and they're just overworked because their quarterback doesn't need to do that, and they're just doing work for nothing. But Dalton's definitely good for maybe a fit with him and help block for his running. Moving on to the Browns, Hakeem Butler, wide receiver. This is a perfect set right here. They got the defense. They have everyone they need. Offense, they're just missing a slot receiver. They got Jarvis Landry. They got the fast receiver. I'm blanking on his name, but Hakeem Butler would definitely be that target. Usually, when you see teams, you always want the tall, the speedy, and the receiver who can get anything, and that's Jarvis Landry right there. But Hakeem's got that height and strength, and I feel like he's gonna put that slot in, and he's gonna fit right in and start the season off with first overall Baker Mayfield. So he's a perfect fit, and I feel like they're much more than playoff bounds. I feel like they're gonna do so much more, especially with the new head coach. I mean, I don't know what they were thinking holding on to him. Cody Ford, great lineman. Vikings definitely need him. Maybe shoot for another running back. Oh, Dalvin Cook, because he's dealing with all these injuries, and it's not great. I mean, Dalvin Cook, yes, he's young, but I feel like if you can get a young running back that will force him to work on staying healthy, maybe Dalvin Cook will show up better. But definitely more need in the offensive tackle, offensive guard with all these free agency going on, and they definitely need him. Tennessee Titans, they have Kelvin Harmon, wide receiver. Marcus Mariota looking for another target, right? I mean, Corey Davis he was a great receiver, but you can't just have one great receiver. I mean, look at the Falcons. Just having Julio Jones for a while isn't going to work out. I mean, he has other great targets, but they're nothing what Julio Jones was. So give Marcus Mariota more targets, and you're going to have such more great game. Excuse me. Pittsburgh Steelers picking up DeAndre Baker. Fully agree with that. Great cornerback. Great what Pittsburgh Steelers needs after. I mean, they got some ancient cornerbacks right now. Joe Hayden. I forgot their other two. But they definitely have an older backup right now, and so I feel like they can get young. They've got so many young players on Steelers, and hopefully maybe if Antonio Brown does get traded, they can have another first few rounds that they need, and I feel like they definitely can benefit if they do trade away Antonio Brown. They can benefit from it. I know it doesn't sound like that exists, but it does, because if he doesn't work out with his quarterback, he's not going to play. Great. Seattle Seahawks picking up Nasir Adderley. I feel like this is the top pick out of all the picks that they could have got right. I mean, losing Cam Chancellor, I don't think Earl's going to play with them anymore, and they need some replacement, at least one guy, and that's a perfect fit. And he looks like he's ready to fit Pete Carroll's scheme and join Russell Wilson, and they can all benefit from learning or teaching on him, even though he's going to lose best safeties I've ever seen. Baltimore Ravens drafting DK Metcalf, wide receiver. Do agree with that. I mean, I've seen him fall to 24th with the Raiders, but this is a great guy. I can't see him getting drafted so late. So, I mean, watching him play, I thought he was low first round, so I'm surprised he's getting dropped so low. I mean, not many teams looking for wide receivers as often, so this Baltimore Ravens are going to get a steal out of this. And having John Brown and so many people offer targets for Lamar Jackson, it's going to be great. Texans drafting DeAndre Dillard. Yes, this is going to give so much more time in the pocket for their quarterback, and They're gonna have so much more happiness, and I mean their defense was so great this year, and Deshaun Watson needs more time. I mean, they just need this pick. I mean, it's a late offensive tackle because we saw so many already picked. So I do agree with this. Not 100%. I mean, they could use some more backs on the defense, but I can't argue with this as much. Oakland Raiders getting that Chicago pick from Khalil Mack, no one agreed with, and so we get Marquise Brown to replace Amari Cooper. I feel like if Mike Mayock did like him and he was talking some good words on him, that he's a perfect fit. If he works well with John Gruden, Mike Mayock, I don't see why he wouldn't be working. And speed, I mean, if he can fly like Tyreek Hill can, Carr won't have a problem. I mean, seeing his deep passes, they're looking like Aaron Rodgers, and those passes where he can drop them wherever he wants downfield. I could see us making playoffs. I don't see us making Super Bowl this year, but just a few years of rebuilds, and so Marquise Brown's a perfect fit if he's ready to suit up and start. Eagles picking up Jonathan Abrams, safety. I know they got some good safeties in the backfield. I'm not sure if I agree with this completely. I'd say go towards more of the running back. They do have Jay Ajayi. Some people are going to get mad at me. Maybe go more free agency or running back, but I don't feel like Jay Ajayi is going to be the same after his few injuries. He's hurting, and I feel like they can go more offensive. Maybe not running back, but maybe more towards that side. They do have insane receivers, insane tight ends. Maybe go, linebackers or something. They have such a stacked team. Their defensive line, wide receivers, linebackers are great. I guess safety is what they really need. Colts picking up Brian Murphy. I really liked watching the Colts this year. I usually don't, and I was like, oh, I love Andrew Luck, so I'm glad he's back. So I'm ready to watch him play. And they were great to watch. I mean, Quentin Nelson pancaking receiver or defensive line. It was funny to watch, and this is a perfect fit. I mean, they can go more running back, and get Frank Gore out of there. And I mean, that's what they're looking for. But I guess cornerback is what they need mostly out of this draft. And I mean, he's a great corner. I know him. I've seen him play. He's more of a his zone, and he'll come up and just intercept it because you don't see him coming because you don't know where he's at because you're more worried on the ball, and he'll just intercept it and run. Raiders getting Devin Bush with their last first round pick out of 3, and yes, Devin Bush, great pick. I mean, great linebacker spot. Our linebackers weren't great this year, and I agree completely with this pick. I can't complain on these picks. I mean, our team just sucked, and maybe more offensive line I was thinking, but I mean, this pick is what we need. If we need free agency more in line, because Carr got sacked most out of any team in the NFL this year, so I'd love to see this. Los Angeles Chargers picking up Deebo Samuel. I mean, I heard a lot of rumors that Tyrell Williams is not going to be on the Chargers. They're looking to drop him. This will be a great wide receiver to put with Keenan Allen, so Phillip Rivers got more targets. I don't like Phillip Rivers short throwing for the team, but I can't argue he's a great quarterback. So if he's got Deebo Samuel and Keenan Allen, they're a great set. Deontay Thompson from Alabama for Kansas City as a safety. I mean, fits with Eric Berry. I see him going more cornerback, but safety works perfectly. Maybe he'll throw in that slot or something like that, but this is a great pick. And such late rounds, you can't find people like this that great. Green Bay Packers getting that other pick from New Orleans, trading up. Get Bo Bench. I can't pronounce. I'm not even going to try. Offensive guard. I haven't seen much of him play, but I've seen Wisconsin's line. They come really great. I mean, I'm pretty sure Green Bay's ready to start him right away and help protect Aaron Rodgers and keep him off the injury list. New England Patriots picking up Charles Omenihu. Oh my, I'm sucking at pronouncing. Edge rusher. Yep, great guy. Not going to comment on the Patriots. Don't care for him as much. Feel bad for this guy. Moving on to the Rams. Amani Orlowile. What the heck is with these last picks, man? Quarterback, yeah, definitely. I mean, once you have Aqib Talib, Marcus Peters, they're going to be free agents after this year. I mean, if you keep both of them and put this guy at slot, he could start right away, and you'll have a set team for another Super Bowl. I mean, if they don't win this year, but I hope the Patriots lose. Yeah, and that's all the picks. More questions were asked were, who do you think the powerhouses were going to be this year? Definitely the Rams. I don't see the Patriots doing that great again. Green Bay, I feel like they're in the rebuilding process as well with the Raiders. Kansas City, I see making late playoffs. I mean, Patrick Mahomes already said he's going to the Super Bowl next year, so we'll see how he holds on to his words. Los Angeles Chargers, if Phillip Rivers doesn't age like he is or has been, then I feel like the Chargers still have that chance, that shot. I mean, there's a lot of Chargers hype that, they were going to make playoffs this year and they were going to win and everything, and win the Super Bowl this year, everyone was saying that, and I liked seeing them eat their words at the end of the year by not even making finals. So Oakland Raiders, rebuild process. I mean, I really was disappointed in how they played. I loved watching Derek Carr. He had so many games where he didn't throw interceptions, and then the game where everyone was talking about how Carr wasn't throwing any interceptions for the last 8 games, threw 2 interceptions right away off the bat. I really hate that karma, right? Or that. I'm not sure. I'm blanking on the word. Colts, I feel like they have a best chance out of a lot of teams. I feel like they were underdogs this season. No one really noticed them, and I feel like they have finals bound. I feel like they can go Super Bowl. I know that's a big shot, but I feel it. Eagles, I feel like Carson Wentz isn't just setting in, and they can't stay with a quarterback if he's injured, and Nick Foles can't take the heat. I feel like they're going to drop. They've been doing good. They won those Super Bowl, yeah, but I feel like their show's down on the road. Same Oakland Raiders again. Texans, I feel like they have a better chance. Deshaun Watson's getting more experience. Perfect fit. Ravens, Lamar Jackson. I feel like playoff bounds as long as their team stays young, and Joe Flacco, I mean, maybe they can benefit from getting rid of him, as we could tell Jackson can start. Seattle Seahawks, I'd like to see him back in the Super Bowl area, but as long as their team stays together, stays healthy, I feel like they got a chance. I like watching Russell Wilson. I didn't care for him as much as a few years, but now I see how great he is. I love watching him. Steelers, I love to see him play. I don't agree with Ben Roethlisberger in a lot of his decisions, but I'd like to see them make playoffs. Maybe not more. I don't like watching them play in the Super Bowl. I've watched it many times. Tennessee Titans, I'd love to see Marcus Mariota go to Super Bowl. That would be amazing. Just see an Oregon quarterback play. That's all I'd like to see out of him. If they drop him, I'm not watching the Titans. I don't like them. Just because Marcus Mariota, he makes it so much better to watch him. Vikings, yeah, I mean, I'd like to see him. I used to like watching Teddy Bridgewater play, but now new quarterback, got rid of all their backups, and now they have a bunch of side quarterbacks. I don't see this year being their year, but I feel like they're still in the rebuilding process. Cleveland Browns, I feel like they're Super Bowl bound. I mean, their team was rebuilding. Like I said earlier, they were only 7 wins, but now I feel like they're going to jump real quick like the Colts did. Panthers, Dalton Reisner, I feel like this team's going to go a little under. They're not going to do great this year and get a few first rounds in the next few years, but I feel like this is just on their downhill. I'm not sure if they're rebuilding yet, but more like they're trying to keep up. I mean, I like watching them play. They do have a great team, but it's just, if you see, most of their players are aged, and Julius Prepper just retired, Thomas Davis retiring. I don't see it. Buffalo Bills, like I said earlier, Josh Allen, young quarterback, ready for playoffs. Atlanta Falcons, yeah, they're still in the fight. 2 years ago, going to the Super Bowl, I feel like they have playoffs this year. They didn't make it this year, but I feel like they're gonna this coming season. Miami Dolphins, I feel like they're still rebuilding and working out their whole team. I like watching Ryan Tannehill. I missed him last few years, but I'm ready to see what he's got. Maybe Andrew Luck's he's He's got that same mentality as Andrew Luck did after his injury. If Aaron Rodgers stays healthy, I feel like this team has playoff bounds. Everyone's projected he's going to be the best quarterback this year and just didn't live up to it after a few injuries again. Bengals with Devin White, I feel like the Bengals definitely have a shot if they keep their defense together and working as a team and keeping up, throwing down those tyrant teams this year. I feel like they definitely have a playoff chance. I don't see Super Bowl though. Broncos, if they can find a quarterback that fits them, they could be a perfect team. They just need that quarterback fit and maybe some younger receivers. Redskins, I see them having it. They get a quarterback out of this and learn like he did from Alex Smith. I feel like playoffs is ready for them. Lions, I love Matthew Stafford. I see them making close to Super Bowls, finals. I love watching him play. He plays just like Derek Carr and how he slings the ball and how he runs when he sees the open gap, and he's not a guy who throws many interceptions, and he's a good set. He may be a little older, but he's looking young. Looks like he just got drafted like 2 years ago. Jacksonville Jaguars, if Drew Lock is their set, I feel like they got it. I don't see them making too far with it, such a young quarterback, but maybe I see him looking more receivers after the first round pick, but I feel like maybe higher scores? No. Wins than this year, definitely, but I'm not sure on playoffs. New York Giants, if you get Dwayne Haskins in college and you do in the NFL, I feel like they definitely have a Super Bowl coming up on them soon. Especially with, you got quarterback, running back, and a few receivers that are pretty good. Sterling Shepard is so much better than he used to be, and their defense is really, really fun to watch. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I feel like their rebuilding process, they couldn't stay with, they look like the Eagles with Ryan Fitzpatrick and James Winston taking both sides on plays. Oakland Raiders, same thing. I don't think they have the mentality for playoffs. I feel like still rebuild. New York Jets, I feel like they're playoff bound. I mean, I liked watching their quarterback play. He was really good, and definitely if you need Quinnen Williams, then get Quinnen Williams and have that set. But I still think playoffs, even if they need just him and more. 49ers, if you bring back Jimmy Garoppolo, what he did his first year with the 49ers, I feel like they're definitely playoff bounds. I like watching him, and I like watching their team. I don't agree with Colin Kaepernick, but as soon as I got rid of him, started watching their games again. First overall, Cardinals, I'd love to see them go playoffs, late playoffs, especially with Larry Fitzgerald. Maybe a Super Bowl, just because it's his last year, and Patrick Peterson was upset, and I'm glad he's staying with this team. More few questions asked. Who I thought was going to win the Super Bowl and who I wanted to. Both are going to the Rams. I feel like Tom Brady is talking smack, and he's like, oh yeah, we're the underdogs. Yeah, we're definitely coming back. I can't wait to see him eat his words and lose this game. Let me know what you guys think on this video. Ask me more questions. I got a ton, and I didn't answer them all completely, so just let me know how I did, guys.